is Thursday, the April 25th, and it's just a quick check-in. Just waiting to pick the kids up from school, as per usual, on my weeks. We saw a movie last night called Challengers. It's got Zendaya and two other guys who I don't believe I've seen before. It's a tennis film, and it was really good. I guess she produced it. So the premise is that she's a tennis phenom when she was younger, and then she twists her knee and has an injury, so she can't play. And it's almost like a love triangle between her and then the other two guys. The way that they played it out was so well done. And now, granted, I didn't see her when she was a Disney kid, a Disney star, but she definitely was not a Disney-esque actor in this one. She's very much grown up in this one. Kind of a bit of a wench, quite honestly. It's an interesting role for her, but she played it really well. And the guys in it were fairly good looking, and it was kind of like sexy and a little bit of twistiness happening, which I don't know about you. I don't usually think of tennis as being like a sexy sport. So, kudos to them, whoever wrote it and directed it, for making it that way. But I don't know that I'll watch it over and over again, but it was definitely good enough to see at least once. So, Challengers. I think we're going to see Abigail this weekend. We are also doing a passport thing for the kids this weekend. We have our passports, and it's not like we go on a lot of outside of the United States trips, but, sometimes you can get some really good deals on different flights or different vacations. It would be nice not to have to worry like, oh crap, we can't do that because the kids don't have passports. So we're going to get that process started. I had been checking the Omni Interactions boards to see if they had any other call center type jobs that I would like. And they had one listed today that sounded kind of interesting. It's kind of weird too, because basically it makes it sound like you get paid for every case that you close where you reject a pharmacy request. Like, if you can say it's because it's too soon to fill a prescription, or it doesn't fit under their insurance plan, or this, that, and the other. Like, there was a number of reasons or options for the ways to close the claim, but it made it sound like if you declined to accept the prescription for whatever reason, then you get paid. And if you didn't close enough cases, you still get paid at a base of like $12 an hour or something like that. So, but you could make upwards of, if you worked 40 hours that week, then you could make potentially like $1,000 that week. I don't know. That might be stressing it. But they also wanted you to work at least 30 hours a week. And I thought, well, didn't really want to work that much during the summertime because the kids are going to be out, and it's nice to be able to just pick up and, do things with them. And the training, it's like 15 days training, and you don't get paid for training. And one of the weeks of training, my mom's going to be here. So I didn't really, but I thought, what, it's a 6-month contract. Like it's as long as I adhere to their metrics, like I'd be good for 6 months. And potentially it sounds like then it's just a rolling acceptance every 6 months, unless you're not meeting their metrics, in which case they probably wouldn't renew you when the 6 months came up. Anyway, so I went ahead and applied to it, told my husband about it, and he was like, I thought you didn't want to work 30 hours a week. And I'm like, well, I don't, but I also don't want you coming in saying that I'm just loafing around while you're doing the hard work of working. And he was like, well, it's not loafing if you take the kids hiking. So I thought about it, and when they came back to me and said, hey, here's how you start the next process, background check, drug test, all that kind of stuff, I was like, you know what? I was a little trigger happy when I applied. I didn't realize that I had conflicting things going on with certification, if you could pull my application. And they're like, all right, done. And I don't think that hurts my chances of working with them on a different project in the future. And if this was like a couple months down the road, I could definitely see myself doing this because, like I said, it kind of sounded interesting. And they said it takes like a month to kind of get in the swing of things. I am usually pretty quick at picking up processes, so I was not worried about that at all. It's hard because, it's a job, but my husband makes a decent amount. He basically makes what a lot of people could make with a double income household, right? So while I know that making a base of $12 an hour is great for some families, I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful or too big for my britches or whatever, but for us, $12 an hour, it's almost not worth it, the time. And again, if we were in a different situation where we desperately needed the money, then sure, I would say, let's do this. But really, I would want to be making like $20 an hour to make it worth my time. The problem is the kind of jobs that I can do for $20 an hour are generally not going to be work from home jobs or jobs that I can choose my own hours and choose my own shifts. And as long as I adhere to the 18-hour requirement, I could work more or less just depending on what the week looks like for me. So it's going to be very hard to find a kind of job where I can make at least $20 an hour and still have those benefits. Like, I totally get that. So I don't really know what the future has in store for me work-wise, but I'm still looking. I'm still out there doing my thing. I signed up for Prolific. It's a survey site, like doing surveys, like over a year ago, I think. And I just now got off the wait list for it. They just randomly, I had an email waiting. So I've been doing Prolific surveys, and they're not long, like, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, but they're also not super profitable. So maybe it's like, oh, you're going to make 80 cents on this one, or you're making $2 on this one. I think today I've made maybe $7 or $10. So, I mean, if I could do that daily, the amount of time I spent on it, that's an additional, $300 a month. That's not nothing. But I told my husband today, I'm like, I made $5. And he's like, yeah, you just paid for my beer. And he was joking and laughing about it. But I'm like, you know what? You've been subsidizing my Ben & Jerry's and Cadbury eggs for all these years. I'm like, I can afford to buy you a beer. Because that's what you do with family, right? Man, I see so many articles or posts on Reddit. I love Reddit. I can waste so much time on Reddit about people who don't pool their income. I find it so weird that if you're a married couple, that your income doesn't just go into one joint account. I think it would be so strange to be like, this is mine, this is yours. Then how do you decide who pays for kids stuff? And the stuff that I see too is, say that couple wants to go on a vacation. Let's say they don't have kids, and one of them earns significantly more than the other one, and so they want to go on a vacation that's super expensive. Well, the other person can't really afford to go on that vacation with them because their partner is not subsidizing theirs. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in it as a family, then be in it as a family. I can understand if you come into a relationship or a marriage with assets. So do a prenup. Like, say, I came into it with this, you came into it with that. While we're together, it's going to be communal, whatever. It just, the whole keeping it separate seems like there is so many ways that people's feelings could get hurt, or that it wouldn't actually be equitable. This one that I saw recently, they both made really good money. I think they're both doctors or something. And she was looking over the prenup, and it says that they were going to keep their finances separate. But when it came time to have kids, the guy expected her to stay home and be with the kids. Well, she's not going to have any income coming in at that stage unless he decides to like pay her. Because I was thinking, well, I guess if he pays her like to be a stay-at-home mom. And then my husband was like, well, maybe they could go 50-50 on his income while she's taking care of the kids. But even that, staying home and taking care of the kids, being out of the game for years, I mean, that person may never at that stage be able to recover their career if they wanted to have a career in the way that they would have had they never taken that time off. So the person who stays home with the kids, like I've stayed home the last, I don't know, 5 years or whatever it is. And I've loved it. Like it's nice. I loved not having the commute. I mean, that's one thing, right? But being able to be there for the kids, like if they're sick or, take them to birthday parties or whatever. It's been so nice. And then you don't have to pay childcare because, you're staying home. But like I definitely feel like I've lost the momentum career-wise. You're basically starting over from scratch. Unless you were maybe a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer and you still can roll with those certifications. If you were just some rando, customer support person or a boss or whatever, it's really hard to get back in the game because maybe there's been changes over the years. Or people are like, okay, well, you've been out of the workforce for 5 years, 7 years, whatever it's been. Where we have this person just coming out of college or, they've been in a job for 2 years and now they want to switch up. I'm just saying. The person who stays home, it's definitely a hardship on them in so many ways. So I think it's just so strange, going back to my original point of not pooling resources. It's just so weird. I took my last shot of the SS31. I believe tomorrow I'll be starting the MOTS-C protocol. Honestly, I don't even know what that's going to look like. I mean, it's an injection. I know that, but I don't know dosage-wise what it's going to be. I wanted to say it was like 4 milligrams a day, but then someone else said 4 milligrams like a couple times a week, and then someone else said just do 10 milligrams once a week. So I don't know. I have to look at it. I think I would probably want to do the 4 milligrams, twice a week or whatever it is. We are still finishing up season 1 of Altered Carbon. I've seen it before, but we're just rewatching it. Definitely like season 1 better than season 2, but I probably will watch season 2. I read Lessons in Chemistry for a book club like half a year ago, maybe last year. And it was really good. And then they turned it into a TV series. Well, a limited run type TV series with Brie Larson. She's she's from Marvel, Marvel, not Professor Marvel. She's the blonde, floaty haired, like Wonder Woman girl whose name is Marvel. I do not know. I can't think of what that character's name is. Anyway, she plays the lead in this Lessons in Chemistry. And I've heard really good things about it. So I'm excited to see it. Other than that, I feel good. I definitely look good. And I guess I'll just see you guys at the next video. Bye.